There we go. We are live. We are live. Welcome, welcome. Sarah, when your phone holds a charge again. Actually, yeah, and if you can get it plugged in so that it can continue to charge, come on back in. We really wanted to have Sarah on with this. Uh-oh. One moment. Let's see. Oh, did somebody already take care of that? I'm going to make sure we don't have the feedback. Okay, perfect.
Yes, I did.
I was thinking it was me. That's okay.
No.
I was sure it was me. So, all right. I'm trying to block out that fan up above me. I did turn off that light because that is a huge, huge glare. Gingerbread biscuit. Ooh, that sounds good. Okay. Well, Sarah's phone died, so she's getting it charged up enough and she can plug it in and come back in and join us because we wanted to have her here. And let's see. Invited all of admin today. Jen had a previous engagement and DM is occupied right now. Her husband just got back into town late last night. So if she's able to jump in at some point, then maybe she will. So let's see who's here. Say hello to everyone. Back to the top. Hey, Margie. Welcome, all you beautiful people. Grab a snack, smash the like button, and join us for an hour or maybe longer today. We'll see. Thank you, Margie, for that reminder. We really do appreciate it. And oh, yeah, first in, moi. I love it. Christy. Christy says teacher's pet. It's awesome. You notice, though, Margie, Christy was early also. So. Hi, Sarah. Sarah from Cozy Creations. Awesome. Good to see you. That's Sarah M. and Sarah T is here. Julie is here. Hi, Julie. Let's see who else is. Oh, Margie. Oh, Margie gifted a membership club to someone. Thank you, Margie. That is very awesome. Thank you, Sarah, for your contribution, and Margie for your contribution for supporting HPP. And I recorded a very short video for the membership club this morning, and I've been running and didn't, well, you all don't know, just the people around the panel know, got everything set up, and I ran out the door to accompany a friend to a doctor's appointment, and I just ran back and slid right in, and we're ready to go. So I do have a short video that I will be uploading right after we're done. So if you are in the membership club, make sure you watch your notifications. Make sure you have notifications for all turned on, and even go in there and click on membership every now and then to see if I put out any new message or video for you. Hey, Casey, on the last break of the shift. Whoop, whoop. So there is a very special video telling you about a very special event that is for the membership club only that will be on Wednesday afternoon. So make sure that you go in this afternoon and see that. If you haven't, hi, Anne-Marie. So good to see you. If you haven't had a chance to join the membership club and would like to, it is not too late, and you will get to participate in that Wednesday afternoon event, as well as everything else we have coming up. And as long as I have some of these adorable little keychains with the paint palettes, crayon box, the mug with
those are so cute.
Aren't they adorable? And the little brush. As long as I have some of those in stock, I will send one to every new club member that joins. Hi, Ricky.
Oh, well, lucky.
You don't have to be showered and dressed, Ricky. So, you know, you could just be here and you could sit down and craft and make a mess and shower afterwards. So, so the next that's okay, Christy. We appreciate you being here on Monday. You have just had a huge wedding in your family that costs a bunch. That I know. So, we are today going to do two things. Everybody on the panel is either going to collage or create some collage fodder in preparation for upcoming projects that we'll do on Monday Jumpstart. And we wanted to do that. And I wanted to do something simple that we didn't have to think really hard about, because I'd really like to have some conversation today and want everybody to be able to think about and respond. Of course, those on the panel will be able to speak, and those in chat really, really would like you to speak out in chat. Anytime we have one of these type of conversations, it always turns out really awesome for everyone. So I want to ask you, I'll ask those on the panel, but I don't want you to answer until after we get responses in the chat. So if you're in chat, would you please comment how many of you, when someone asks you what you do or how you fill your time or what your hobbies are, things like that, how many of you say, I'm an artist? So I'll ask Glynis and Sylvia, but I'd like to get your responses in chat first. So if you'll just jump in chat and fill it up. How many of you say, I'm an artist? Okay. I'm not even going to try to correct that.
Why do I see a lot of not me, not me, not me, never? The no-nos have it.
Okay, I'm going back here. Nope, Ricky can't smell you, so you can participate. Doesn't even matter. Okay, so let's see here.
I just list all the things I
do. Margie says, not me. Julie says, ha, 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 ha. Sarah says, nope, not me. Anne Marie says, never. Christy says, not me. Julie says, I say I have a hobby. I just list all the things I do. I usually don't use the term artist too much because there's so much I do. So Casey, if I met you and we were talking about stuff and I said, well, you know, so what do you do? What are you gonna list? What would you tell me? What do you do? We're in the elevator. You've got about 15 seconds. What do you do, Casey? Ricky used to say that, but now I say I was an artist. Christy, I just say that I didn't work outside the home. Interesting. Okay, Julie said the same as Casey. So Julie, if I were to meet you in the elevator and we were talking, or I heard you talking to someone else, and I said, Julie, what do you do? What would you say? Fill up chat with that. Tell me what would you say? Usually just say that I'm a paper crafter. I used to be a porcelain painting artist. Ooh, that looks cool. And you could post pictures if you still have some, Ricky, of porcelain painting. Usually tell people I do paper craft and mixed media. Margie's a cat wrangler. That would be appropriate. Glynis, what do you tell people?
I usually say I'm a maker.
I'm a maker. What does that mean? I'm not in your world, and so that I don't know what that means. What is that?
Then I'll go from there. I'll go to crafter.
I'm a maker. I say, what does that mean? And so then you say, I'm a crafter.
Yep.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I
What kind of craft?
I make handmade junk journals. It's all recycled products, and I use make lots of paper things and mixed media things.
Okay, Sylvia, what do you say?
I say I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I like to create. I have various ways of expressing myself through words, through sketches, through paintings, through mistakes, through I even tried creating a family. That didn't go too well. But yes, I consider myself an artist. I do because I create. I make food. I set the table. I dressed my babies in usually unusual clothing. So I create. Yes, I'm an artist.
Everything around you, you're creating. Okay, awesome. Christy, I usually just say that I'm a paper crafter. Anne Marie, I say that I'm a crafter. Julie, I usually tell people I do paper craft and mixed media. Cat Wrangler, we love that. Can't leave out the paper. Okay, so Casey says I'm a journal and jewelry maker, collage, gel print, cosplay, and mixed media.
That all falls under artist.
Right. Right. Christy, I usually just say that I'm a former educator. Christy, I think you need to drop the former. Sarah, and I'll
really.
About that. I'll say more about that. Sarah, paper crafter, and try to quilt.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah. Julie, my first creative love is paper. Ricky, now my hobbies are watching YouTube and glue paper together. And I get a lot of questions. Now I say eco dye paper and material, which takes me down several rabbit holes. Dawn Marie, I'm a mixed media artist. Okay, so DM, I don't know if you're in a position where you can come in live with us for this conversation, or if you're out and about and have to just jump in chat when you can. Yes, Margie, only try, Sarah, try to quilt. So, okay, let me ask you another question. And those who are live with me, hold off answering this till we get some of their answers in chat. Why do you think you're not an artist? Why don't you, or why can't you? Some of you would say, well, I just can't. So I'm going to say, why don't you, or why can't you say to somebody, I'm an artist? Let's hear your responses to that. Why do you think you aren't an artist? Why can't you, or don't you say, if somebody asks you, that I'm an artist? I have dabbled in knitting, crochet, folk art, bead jewelry making, drawing, and sketching. Also say that I'm a dog mom. Yep. Well, it's good to see you, even if you are out and about, DM, because most people do it so much better than I do. Huh.
Julie, you do wonderful gel prints. I love stuff.
Sounds like I'd be tooting my own horn. Okay. Because it's just sticking to paper. It doesn't make sense that an artist would stick paper to paper. Okay. I'm not confident enough in the things that I create. I compare myself to others way too much. Okay. So, so Glynis, you use the term maker or creator or crafter.
Yeah, unless I'm showing my abstract art, then I'm an artist.
Okay. Okay. So with the other things, why don't you use the term artist?
Because I don't associate artist in my head with the things that I do when I'm junk journaling.
Okay. So what is an artist to you?
They have a paintbrush in their hand.
Really? Okay. So in order to be classified an artist.
But though a sculptor is an artist too. And
they don't sculpt with
yes.
They don't sculpt with a brush.
Yeah.
Painter would use a brush, watercolor or oil painter or acrylic painter. They would use a brush.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm following the train of thought. And
yeah.
So a sculptor, also an artist, but they would use their hands or other tools.
And a musician is an artist.
Oh, really?
To me, yeah.
Okay.
Because their creativity, I think it's because, when I think of a musician as an artist, I think of creativity and how they can change the music to match your mood, and they can interpret things different. It's all the same idea of producing something. I guess an artist is produces something.
I'm thinking about some of the things that you have produced and how you have changed them to match your mood
Yeah.
lighter, darker,
Yeah.
brighter, bright yellow, zombie blood.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. What if a musician said to you, but I didn't write the music. I'm merely playing what's on the paper.
You sure you don't want to talk to Sylvia?
I will. I will.
Goodness.
Bye, Casey. Casey says, I think I don't because it's a bold statement for someone who just dabbles with all these things, and I'm too proud. Okay, so several of you have hit on the same kind of thing. Steven Seltzer is a family friend, and he is awesomely talented with paintings and one's done with ink and other things. He is an artist, but you are not. Okay, so I can say with confidence and with absolute confidence that wherever you are on the spectrum of what it is that you do, there is always somebody in life that has been doing it longer, that has learned more techniques, that has failed more times and tried different things and found out what works and what doesn't, that has taken more classes, all of those things. And there are people that have yet to experiment as much as you do, have not tried as many things as you do, have not created as many even collages as you do, have not learned as much as you do. There's so many things that I want to bring out here, but I want to throw out this question. Y'all know who Marguerite Miller is?
Mm-hmm.
You see her on YouTube. A lot of people do the Marguerite Miller challenges. Yeah, y'all know who Marguerite Miller is. Is she an artist?
Yes.
Why would you say she's an artist?
Yes.
Glennis, do you think she creates?
Well, I think, to me, I look at her and I look at how many people follow her, but not just because they follow her, but people who believe in what she does. And I think part of her being an artist is that she can possess that knowledge onto other people. She can pass it on, and that to me makes her an artist, in that she's got a following who learn.
So it's dependent on other people to determine whether you're an artist or not.
A lot, yeah.
Is what you just said.
Yeah.
Okay. So Marguerite, I love her. And she describes herself as a collage artist. Collage is what she does. And she does collage very well. She focuses on this one thing. She loves collaging. And so she's focused on it, practiced it, learned, tried different things that didn't work. If you ever watch her videos, she tries things that don't work and she moves them around and finds what does work. But all she does is collage. So according to some of you and what you've said about yourself, all she does is glue paper to paper. Yet we all think of her as an artist. Hello, Mrs. Gigi. Good to see you. Because Marguerite Miller's work is awesome. See, Anne Marie, we love her work. She didn't start out this way. She has tried and practiced and done trial and error. And I have a great deal of respect for someone that I agree with DM. It should not be determined by anyone but you. I have a great deal of respect for someone who is not afraid to show on their video or their live. Hi, Angela, welcome. Something that fails, something that doesn't work. There's a lot of paper artists, paper crafters out there that do a lot of videos and they cut out everything that isn't perfect. And all we see is the perfect process or the perfect end result. I really like when an artist shows doing the process and something doesn't work and they back up and try it differently or try it again, or how they correct that. Because believe you me, even the greatest artists in all of time, not everything that they touched was a work of art, was, amazing. If we don't ever fail at anything, we don't learn anything.
Of the masters.
Go for that, Sylvia.
The masters, only like 600. Of the masters, only 600 or so of their paintings, of all their paintings from all their years, are only the ones that are displayed and are actually considered true works of art.
Right.
So I was blessed enough to have a wonderful mother, and she told me, don't wait for anybody to tell you you're pretty. Don't wait for have somebody to tell you that you're good. Don't wait for somebody to tell you that you're excellent or that you can. You tell yourself, because you should be important to yourself. So I love myself, and I make myself happy, and I love to create. Sometimes it's not good. It doesn't matter. It's for me. I think it's good. I may not share it. Sometimes I do, but I don't wait for anybody's validation. I don't need anybody to say, you're wonderful. It's great when they do compliment me. I love it. But I can go through this world all by myself. I'm perfectly fine.
So there's something Sylvia said that we all need to learn from her. What she said was, I make it for me. And if I'm pleased with it, then it's just fine. I'm not making it for anyone else. I'm making it to please me. It makes me feel good, makes me happy to do this.
And I've tried it all.
Pleases my soul.
Yeah.
It's all in the art.
And I've tried it all. I tried clay. I tried ceramics. I tried paper. I tried cards. I tried scrapbooking. I tried painting. I tried bricklaying. I tried plaster. I tried woodworking. I tried collecting stuff from the seashore and making stuff out of shells and all kinds of different stuff. I've tried it all because I didn't know what was my passion. But that was in my youth. I'm no longer in my youth. I'm in my golden years. I already know what I like. I know
try new things that present themselves to her.
So who do I please? Me first, and then him.
Right. She continues to be open to trying new things that she thinks might interest her.
Yes.
Right.
I'm still not good at cards. But I keep trying. Sometimes I'm successful. Sometimes not so pretty. But hey, I mail them. Hey, you get a card. It's a thought. You don't like it? I did. I thought of you. There you go. Bye.
Oh, I love your cards. They're fantastic. And no matter, we're always looking, and this is a good thing to do. We're always looking at somebody who we feel is more experienced, more advanced, does it better than we do. And that's because we want to learn from them. We want to grow. We want to become better at it. So that's not a bad thing. We need to remember that there's always somebody who's just started that's looking at you and wants to learn and grow and do something like you do. And the other thing is style. Everybody's style is different. Your style should be to please you. And you don't have to have one style. If you ask me what my style is, I cannot answer you because it depends on the day, my mood, the time, what I'm working with. And I finally decided I don't have to have a style. When I first started in this community of paper crafting, everybody has their style. You can see exactly how she does and you can recognize her work. I love it all. I've decided that I don't have to pigeonhole myself into one style if that doesn't feel right to me. So, Mrs. Gigi says, love your mom. So true. DM says, and very few of their art or sketchbooks are shown, but those are where all of their great paintings started. And that's where their mistakes are worked out. Yes. Sylvia was talking about the great artists of all time. And you do see very few. If you ever get a chance to look at one of their sketchbooks or early art, that's where they made their mistakes and figured things out and worked out how to make those masterful paintings. Anne Marie, my work to me always looks rubbish, but when I leave it a while,
they did not have
or show you HPP people and say it's awesome. Or
and remember that the great artists.
One of the reasons that I put that art journal up in
Mm.
HPP is I wanted people to see how a lot of those I don't like. I regret them. But I wanted to show the full art journal, that including the things that didn't work out and the things that I really liked.
Did you say you regret them?
There's a couple that I look at and I think, oh, that's just not right. But I'm not changing them because they were right when I did them.
But regret, and I'm challenging Glennis on this word because I want her to break through a little hole here. There's already a tear in it. That's why I say the little hole. There's already a tear in this thing Glennis has over her. But to regret something indicates that I wish I hadn't done it. Right? I wish it hadn't happened.
Yep.
And I would dare say that those ones that you did, that you look at now and say, oh, wow, that you needed to do those as a step, a stepping stone on the way to what you're doing now.
That's why I have not gone over them with Jess already, because they were what I needed at that time.
They were an important step. They are not indicative of your current work, but they are an important step. And I dare say nobody can go from entering the door of a new talent, a new skill, a new art, to being a master at it without all the steps in between. We just can't do that. You know, we've got to have the steps. We've got to try the different things. We've got to fail at some different things before we can become master of anything. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need to know our style. Just don't need to know our style. And to me, why do we have to put ourselves in one box or one style? Exactly. Personally, my moods and ideas change daily and can't say we'll ever have a certain style. Been crafting for over 26 years. Started in 1997, altered book. Took me 15 to define my style as eclectic. I don't follow the rules. Mistakes are happy accidents. I call myself artist, a creator. So that's exactly it. Yeah. If you're like me and when you first started this whole YouTube journey with people and saw everybody had this style, I felt like in order to be this type of artist, I need to find my style. I need a style to define me. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. And all of you are just confirming to me that instinct is right. And you don't have to have a style. Nobody says, what is your style? No. You have to, you don't have to have a style. You can say, I can do it all.
But
now,
that's why I like going from grungy to doily books.
Right.
Because I can do both of those.
You don't have to have a certain style. That's all you do. You can do everything from dark to light. So back to Marguerite Miller a little bit. We all admire her. She does wonderful collage. We learn from her. And she calls herself a collage artist. And we all agree that she is an artist. And many of you said that all I do is glue paper on paper. That doesn't seem worthy of artist, right? Yet Marguerite is worthy of being called an artist, and she's gluing paper on paper. So first of all,
if I can just interrupt. Can I just interrupt, please?
Yes,
please. Anybody have children out there? You ever put a crayon in the kid's hand and let them go? They just go. What stops them? And not one thing, unless an adult stops them and says, oh, that's not good enough. When we create, it's the same thing. We're trying to get a hold of that childlike experience that we had that brought us so much joy. Why do we stop it? Why do we stop it by limiting our natural abilities? When we play, we say we play with our paper, we play with our glue, we play with our scissors. Some of us run with scissors. I understand that. That would be me.
And that's okay.
But you know what? It's that childlike quality that we want to recapture, the joy of nobody telling us that's wrong. That's not good enough. You could have done it better. Please.
So you mean there was a point in life when we didn't look at ourselves with that kind of judgment?
Absolutely. Ask any child to sit there and go, look what I did. Look what I did. Can you see what it is? And you sit there and go, no, you tell me what it is because I have no clue what it is. And then they'll start describing it for you. So it's just that simple. It's just that simple.
Right.
Yes, you're an artist, regardless of whether it's just glue and paper. Who cares? It's bringing you joy.
Yes.
Why limit it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think no, you're fine. I appreciate that. The sum of some of your reasons why you don't call yourself an artist, to sum that up, could I say it's because you don't think you are authorized as a creator to call yourself artist?
Or you feel judged?
Do you feel that because you didn't study art, music, dance, writing, whatever it is, at a university, that you don't have the authorization to
That's
create?
a lot of it for me. Yes.
Okay. So just because somebody has studied something, somebody else is self-taught, I would be curious as to how many of the great artists, the people that we consider great artists in all time, were self-taught. I don't know. I don't have any idea. So let me throw this out.
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That goes back to the learning process. We all learned how to process
Yes.
learning. We all learned that. So when you started, that young lady that said she has been crafting for 26 years, when she started, she started with her natural eye, what she thought was good, what she thought could coordinate or work together. And in 26 years, that eye has matured.
Right.
So it's the same thing with the child. The only difference with the child's creativity is that it gets interrupted somewhere by an adult or a student alongside them that says that's not good enough. As soon as we hit that critical phase, some of us can zoom past it because I don't care what anybody says. But some of us get stifled by it. But the deal is, every master, every one of them, they were at it daily with some of the worst products that they had out there. Do you know that crayons didn't come? What year do you think crayons were invented? 1840 something, 1830 something.
Really? Okay.
And you know what they had before? All of that stuff that they were trying to paint with. So their struggles were real. Because we have really good stuff.
Things to try. Yeah.
Velvet brushes. We have sable brushes. We have plastic brushes. We have so many different mediums. So as far as I don't know my style, well, keep trying. You'll figure it out. Your style might come in many colors, like Glennis's, from zombie apocalypse to romantic frilly doily stuff. You know, it's yours. Either way, it's yours. Why
it gives me a lot of freedom.
Criticize it.
Being able to go back and forth. I have a
there
lot
you
of
go.
That's the freedom of expression. How you're feeling, not what you've said. Oh, this is my style, and I have to stay with that.
Listen, I have friends that don't do anything. They don't draw. They don't scrapbook. They don't take photos. They don't. They're just as creative in their home, but not with anything that they manipulate with their hands or their creative eyes.
It might be in their decorating.
But they're not going to call themselves artists.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yes. But I can understand why they don't want to call themselves artists. But if we are here and happy paper people, we are happy artists, ladies.
Yes. DM said that adults stifle the word artist because it's not perceived as a lucrative job, a lucrative career. And so people don't want their child to be an artist. Yep, that should be your hobby, not your focus. So think about some of the older cultures that have been around for hundreds and thousands of years, and the arts that were woven really throughout their daily life, everybody had a role to play. Whether it was painting, singing, dancing, writing, weaving, storytelling, all these things. You can think about some of the cultures. And as Western culture evolved, we lost a lot of those traditions. Some of the cultures still continue those, but with younger generations that are more exposed to the Western culture, they're even losing those as well. And if you were to go in and visit one of those cultures, don't you see everybody there as artists? The ones that weave the beautiful tapestries or the beautiful blankets, the ones who dance amazingly and are interpreting things through dance, the one who can tell the storyteller or tell the story and everybody's on the edge of their seat, the ones who sing, aren't they all artists? And they didn't go to any university.
Yes.
They are taught one to the other. They are self-taught by going to learn to seek out what they want, by practice, by fail, by getting up and trying it again. Honestly, if you don't ever fail, and I hate that word because it's not really a failure, but you might consider it a fail because it isn't what you want. It isn't what you had in your mind. If you don't ever get those as you're doing or trying art, you're not learning. You're not progressing. You're not giving yourself an opportunity. Don't expect so much out of yourself or expect perfection right from the beginning, because that just doesn't happen. So I see a lot of people feeling like they're not authorized to call themselves an artist, so they don't. And then several of you hit on another thing. Somebody told you that you weren't good enough. And that's Sylvia talked about the children. The children don't have a problem expressing freely. They don't have to sit there and think for an hour about what should I draw. They just start drawing until someone says to them, "Ooh, you're not a good drawer," or "That's not very good." So when you go,
the lines.
Yeah, when you go to do something, are those the thoughts that you pull up in your head that even keep you from doing something? Color inside the lines. That's why the lines are there, they said. Right?
Yeah.
Well, what if the child colored all outside the lines and not inside and had the negative effect? How would anybody have ever discovered the negative, the opposite, if somebody didn't have some kind of a weird thing happened? So it also sounds from things you've said that we think that the arts are for the gifted and the skilled. They just can do it perfectly or so much better. You really admire what they do. And we then discourage within ourselves, we discourage creative expression because we're afraid that it won't be good enough. We're not gifted and skilled. So how can we be an artist? Now, Sylvia also said something else really important. She says she tries whatever she wants to try, and she doesn't show everybody everything. You need to do whatever it is you're doing, your art, whether you want to try drawing or anything, and you don't have to show anybody. And you might draw 100 trees, and on the 101 tree, you finally go, "Wow, I got it. I can draw a tree now." That's great. It doesn't matter that there is 100 that weren't up to what you wanted. It's that you kept at it, you kept trying, you kept learning, and you can look at all those and you can see the progress, like Glennis looking back at her art.
Yes.
If you don't have some...
Glennis is a prime example.
Perfect example. But she's not throwing them away, because when she looks at that, she can see her progress. Yeah. She can see her growth. She can see her perfection, or her, not perfection, her progress along the way. Lost whatever the word was that I'm, what? Here's another thing. My sister and I see this a lot, and we give each other the side glance a lot when this happens. If you have siblings, I would dare to guess that your parents probably at some point said, this is Sylvia. She's my rebellious one. And this is her sister. Say her name. She's the straight A student. And this is the so-and-so. And she's the musical one. And this is so-and-so. And she's the creative one. Right?
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Even
I'm
though
grateful I'm grateful I was born 12 years after my sister, because my parents retired when they had me. They didn't compare me to her.
You know, and even though you know in your heart that they may say she's the creative one because she can draw or whatever, but you know you have creativity inside you.
Wow.
Because you can feel it wanting to come out. We still hear that label and think, even though I haven't tried it, maybe I'm not creative. Because my parents, the people I trusted most in the world growing up, said that she's the creative one. I'm the rebellious one. I'm the musical one.
Wow.
I'm the
kind of
this.
harsh. Man, that's harsh.
It is. It is.
That's hard. Oof.
So yeah, think about that and think if there was a label that was put to you, or a creative label that was put to someone else and not you, and they probably never said, "Oh, she's not creative at all." They just never said she's creative, right? So was that label given to someone else and not you? And so they think automatically that's what I am, and that's what they, and then we think, oh, I must not be. And so we don't even try.
We're told a lot more what we're not than what we are.
Wow, that's hard.
That is very true, Glynis.
That's good.
That is
That's
very,
so good.
very
Yes,
true.
I've seen that a lot.
Why are we told what
that
we're not? Why do people tell us negative things about us? Why do people try to stifle our growth? Why do they try to cut you down?
Makes them feel better.
Envy, jealousy, inadequacy, short man syndrome.
Yeah, right. People think that it makes them feel better about themselves because now they've made you feel bad about yourself. But all the things Sylvia said, envy, jealousy, insecurities about their own abilities. I really, truly believe that you don't move up the ladder by stepping on other people's heads and pushing them off the ladder as you go up. Now, that ladder can be anything. It could be a corporate ladder. It could be the artistic ladder in just learning and growing, more artistic styles and techniques. It can be anything. You don't move forward in life by stepping on other people's heads and kicking them off the ladder. We move forward in life by pushing others up that are in front of us and reaching down and pulling up those that are behind us, because everybody is somewhere in the middle of the line of experiences, of abilities, of all those things. And that goes right back to HPP's foundation, which is community, not competition. And when someone is focused on cutting other people down or competition, that's a negative focus, and they can't move forward either because they're stuck in a negative place. And the more we move forward and pull others with us and support and uplift others, the more it pushes us forward as well in our learning process of art. And that's what I really love about HPP is you never get negative comments. I have been in groups. Some of you I know have told me you've been in groups where somebody commented and the comments, somebody left a post and the comments that come back might not all be positive. They might tell you what you did wrong in your picture. Well, wait a minute. Who am I to tell somebody that they did something wrong on their piece of art. If that's where they wanted to put it, then it's right. If it's right for them, if it feels good to them, if they like it, it's right. And everybody's taste isn't the same. And we've talked about this before. You can absolutely respect and admire what it takes to make a piece of art, even if that piece of art isn't your style. I might go into an art gallery and look at a piece of art and say,
Exactly.
this is not a piece of art that I'd ever put on the wall in my house because it wouldn't go with any of the rest of my aesthetic. However, look at this. Look at the detail. Look at the brush strokes. Look at all these little bitty stitches. I know what kind of work and dedication and determination it takes to do this. Wow, I admire this artist in doing this, even if it's not my style.
Exactly.
I just think that's so important.
Right.
To catch up on a couple of comments here.
Definitely.
Just because someone's taste is different than yours and doesn't like it doesn't mean it's not good. Exactly. So you can be a bad artist because there are a lot of singers I don't like, right? Yep. Angela, that's why we're afraid to call ourselves artists. I think we're so stereotyped with all this creator from company that they don't want to copy to a T what they do. I don't understand why. I can use the idea and apply. Thank you, Angela. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about that. Labeling. My family said I'm the crazy one. Excellent, Anne-Marie. Run with that. You're the crazy one that will try every type of art that you want. I love that. A stepping stone to your innovating, improving. Yes, Yem. Known a daydreamer and awkward. Yeah. Okay. Now look at you. You've all said that you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s. And yet when I brought that up, instantly came to your mind what you were told that you were 30, 40, 50 years ago. We're hanging on to those titles.
Words hurt.
Tell me what I am. She just taught me the skills she had, and I'm grateful for that. Wow, that's awesome. Grew up in a family that had extremely low self-esteem. Dad family was treated bad by grandparents, and their experiences affected how. Yep, absolutely. Sometimes you just have to break out of that. Yeah, Margie is right. Sometimes you just have to say, you know what? That generation is gone, and half of the generation above me is gone. I am going to, right now, make a choice that I'm not going to continue to carry on what those generations gave me, because I know it didn't make them happy, and it's not making me happy, and it's not helping me in my artistic endeavors, and it's certainly not helping me in my how I feel about myself. I think we're so stereotyped with other creatives. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, but if you're asked to help with what you would do next, that is not the place to diss them, is to just help their process along and not denoting you're above them. Yes, exactly. DM. If somebody puts a post in and says, I'm stumped, I can't figure out, I know it still needs something, but I'm not sure what. Ideas? Yeah, it is nobody's place to say, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. Who said? Maybe if you did that, then a bunch of other people would be saying, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that. You did exactly what felt right to you, and that is perfect. What they're asking for is, from the point I am now, do you have some ideas, some thoughts, some suggestions for me to consider to find what the one thing is missing here that I can't quite put my hands on yet? Yeah. And you want them to treasure your input, not to think, oh, if that person answers, she's going to be cutting me down or speaking negatively. But she always gives multiple suggestions so that I can think through them and see what feels right to me, what I like. Part of what we were just talking about, where we were told that you're the this or you're the that, or even character traits about you that would make you, in your perception, not a good artist, our parents might even have passed on, but those words, and it might have come from a teacher, those words live on inside of us, and they now become our inner critic, right? So
Yep.
we have to be careful about listening to our own inner critic. Is our inner critic stepping back and analyzing something and looking at as if our friend was asking us, and what might we do next? Where do we go from here? Or is our inner critic saying, you're not qualified, you're not good enough, you're no Picasso, whatever it is. What makes you think you can do that? I love this quote from artist Peter Moorbacher. He says, if you could get past what they think about your work, you could make anything. In fact, you can make anything. Any thinking that leads you to believe otherwise is the quiet yet familiar whisper of your own fear. And that fear is what I like to refer to as the inner critic. It's all those familiar negative statements, excuses that keep us from doing what we want, from trying what we want, from thinking we're not good enough. I have laundry to do. I have this to do. They're just excuses. We'll make time for what we want to. We've all got our own list. But if we could get past those things, you could make anything you want, right? What makes your heart sing? Was my shining light full of love and acceptance? Without her, would be worthless today. Yeah. Find that place where you are accepted, where you are supported. And our goal is to make HPP that place so that anybody that comes in, even brand new, feels supported, feels encouraged, feels respected as an artist, whether they're brand new or have been doing it for a very long time. I, in fact, would not hesitate to call you all artists. All of you. Took me a while to understand that I'm creating for me. Yes.
Thank you.
It make feel happy as art by art. I'm a heck of an artist. Yes. Happened with scrapbooking. I never follow the rules. And who sets the rules? You know, somebody devised these rules so that people who needed some rules to follow could follow the rules, right? If you don't need rules because you can think on your own what you want to do, then don't use the rules. It doesn't matter. It's not right or wrong.
Absolutely.
At times you have to have the rules, to me, because I couldn't have learned art journaling without the prompts and the teaching that I got from you guys. I had needed that as a basis to work on, and from there I can go on. But I needed that basis of what you guys taught me.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead, Sylvia, go ahead.
And that's what HPP offers here also. We share tips, we share information, we share techniques. This is what HPP, that's our whole makeup here, whether it's collage and the techniques and the learning process that goes with collage, or art journaling, or writing in our journals. It's the same thing. So some of us use prompts, some of us don't. Some of us that use prompts use just, what's the color of the day? What's the color of my mood? What is the color that I feel today? What is it I'm feeling today?
I love that.
Or what was the last thing you shared with your mother? Or what was the best thing that you shared with your sister or brother? Deeper prompts. But getting back to what we offer here in HPP is safety. We uplift, we motivate, and we share knowledge. And we're here for each other. And we like to laugh. I like to laugh. This is why I'm here. I like to laugh. It's nothing serious, nothing earth-shattering here. We're just having fun.
If we can't laugh at our own pieces of art that sometimes come
having
out looking
fun.
wonky. So Glennis, I don't want to be argumentative with you, but I am going to challenge the word rule on that just a little bit. What we often teach, and I agree with you that there are times, especially if I'm learning something new for the first time, I'm looking for a process, not a rule. The difference being, I'm thinking about one Monday Jumpstart we did where we said, it might have been four or five steps to making a great tag every time, because I'd been getting a lot of questions about how do I make a tag that I like, that turns out. And so we wrote down the process. First step is this, second step is that, third step is this. That's a process, because first step is pick your substrate, and it could be this, or this, or anything else you think of, right? So there's no rule as to what you have to use. You just need a substrate. And then pick a focal point. That focal point could be anything you want. So we do offer a lot of tips, and we want to help each other with process. And I agree with you. I like process, especially until I've got it down enough that I want to just go off and do whatever on certain things. Other things just feel like they need to be willy-nilly from the beginning. So don't feel like if you want a process for something like steps, because often there are steps that help in certain orders to get the result that you want, I will say. And that's okay. That process is still not defining and giving you rules as to what you can and can't do or can and can't use. So you guys wouldn't even know that there was a time just a couple of years ago that Glennis refused to art journal because she didn't like art journaling.
Couldn't do it. There's no way I could ever learn that.
Hooey.
Hello, you guys wouldn't. Who knew that Sylvia was going to start liking the color pink, or embracing the we, or
yes,
dropping the calligraphy and learning different lettering? That's HPP. That's what brought. That's why I'm here. I'm still here because I love what happens here.
Yes, me too. And most of you know that I am a trained artist. I'm a trained musician. I have a degree in music. So yeah, I'm an artist in music. I am not a trained or schooled artist in collage or mixed media or any of the other things that we do, card making or scrapbooking or any of those. And I, like you, just found myself attracted, like many of you, found myself attracted to the whole world around paper crafting and mixed media. I just want to dive headfirst into the mixed media bucket and drown myself. I want to try everything. I just do.
Yep.
And and it's okay. My purpose in starting HPP was, as Sylvia said, to have a safe place. That's why we keep this a private group. So it is a safe place for everyone, including me, who doesn't have the university education on art, to post something that I made that I probably wouldn't take and put it up against some other artists that I admire, but it will help to build my confidence as I post it and let you see it. And Anne-Marie, I think, mentioned that she felt like she's just gluing stuff down and it's not a big deal. But then she posts it in the group, and the comments that she gets back makes her look at it from a different eye, a different perspective. Because we don't have the inner critic that she has going on herself. And we can see the artist abilities, and we can see the beauty in what she made. And as much as she's thinking, oh, I wish I was as good as so-and-so and so-and-so, there are a whole bunch of other people, even here in our little group, that are saying, oh, I wish I was as good as Anne Marie. So I guarantee you, no matter where you think you are, there are people that wish they were as good as you. And quit holding yourself back by all the negative self-talk. Catch up here on folios. Sylvia didn't like folios, and Sarah got her making folios.
Oh my gosh.
Anne Marie,
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
How long did I resist those?
Oh, a long time. Just like the Wii.
Yes.
First thing Margie learned were not considered arts, but crafts back then: embroidery, crochet, sewing, and quilting. So I consider them crafts, but that's just my old age showing. Yeah, you know, but it's somebody who makes beautiful things out of yarn or thread or string. We look at that and we go, wow, look at that artistry. Yeah, it's an art. It's a craft. And I think DM said it earlier. Crafter, maker, creator, artist. They really are all interchangeable. However, what I want to get at is that a lot of us say crafter because we think it's lesser than artist, and we don't want to put ourselves in that category. Now, let me say something else too, and I this is very curious to me. Several of you said that if I say artist, I would feel like I'm bragging or tooting my own horn. Well, if Christy says I'm an educator, if you walk up to somebody and he says I'm a fireman, I'm an educator, I'm a, line up people and go down the line. I'm a small business owner. I'm a policeman. I'm a daycare provider. I'm all these things, and they come to you and you say I'm an artist. Why would being an artist be bragging when none of those other things you would consider bragging?
Silence. You get silence.
Yeah,
I don't think it's bragging.
I don't either. But I'm curious for that thought process, because there is a thought process there, and I would like to understand that. Why do you think you would be bragging to say I'm an artist, where the guy next to you wouldn't be bragging to say I'm a fireman? I save people's lives.
One seems more important than the other.
That's right. My artistic abilities are very important, Glennis.
They actually are. They're saving your life.
I may not save lives, but I sure am taking care of my own.
Christy says I'm an educator, and you stand.
It's always about me,
right? And you stand next to her and say I'm an artist. Why would it be bragging to say I'm an artist? Why isn't it bragging to say I'm an educator? I teach hundreds and hundreds of children. Why is that not bragging?
Oh, I know. Jeez. I would bow down to I have an educator in my family, and I still don't understand how he got to be that. But the teachers are amazing. Nurses, amazing. Doctors, we'll talk.
Artists.
But EMTs, firemen. Yeah. Amazing.
Artists, amazing.
But so are artists.
Yes.
Because I can depict an EMT guy in his full regalia saving Margie, and that'll be fine. And Glennis.
Right.
Thank you.
So when life gets really tough for all of those people, and they go seek the advice of a therapist, there are a lot of things that therapists might tell them to do. And among those things are listening to music, to meditate, drawing and writing about their feelings and their fears and their anxieties. Yes, absolutely. Picking up some kind of art, because it is a scientifically proven fact that art is a way to relieve and release stress and anxiety. And we have so much stress and anxiety in our world right now. If everybody
I live with mine. Thank you very much.
If everybody had something that they could go to release some of that, we wouldn't have so much attacking each other. People don't know what to do with it, and they take it out on each other.
That's right.
Right? Margie said she thinks of crafters and artists as the same, not less, just different. And I totally agree with that. Somebody said because the crafts are things that were homemakers did at home, not an occupation, but a homemaker did crafts at home. So it seemed of lesser importance. Sylvia, you are an artistic, crazy woman. Anne-Marie, thank you for saying that. I like sharing my stuff because I feel comfortable to share in this group. Thank you for saying that. We need people to tell us that every now and then, because we strive really, really hard to continue to have that kind of environment in HPP. That's exactly what we want. You come in new, if you can feel that right away and feel at home, great. And there's somebody new coming in literally every single day, and they don't know how long you've been here. And as far as they know, you've been here for years, and they just came in, and you turn around and make them feel comfortable. And it's just a pay it forward, and it's treat others as they would like to be treated. Give everybody the respect, treat everybody like artists. Sylvia, you are an artistic, crazy woman, Margie said.
Yes, I am. I'll take that title any day. Absolutely. I
Donna
run with it.
Says, back to artists don't make enough money to live on. Artists were considered the weirdo, lower class, etc., but most lived like that to afford their supplies. Right? That's a really good point. Artists saw the value in what they do.
Yes.
They didn't care about having a bunch of stuff. They would rather live with minimal things and have lots of art supplies so they could express themselves. Absolutely. So maybe people look down on them.
You know how much a slab of marble costs?
Oh my gosh. Couldn't have been
all
any
those
less
marble
back then.
Statues in Rome.
Yeah. Oh man.
Exactly. So DM is absolutely correct. Absolutely.
Yep. And as somebody said quite a while ago,
we pay
treasure another man's treasure. Every one of us will pick up things that are headed to the recycle bin because we know we can make fantastic things with them. And so those things that we're making from somebody's trash, and you might look at some of your work, oh, this is trash, this is rubbish. Somebody else looks at it and goes, oh, what a treasure. I would love to have that. Just remember, it's all perspective, and don't get hung up on your own perspective about yourself.
Yes.
Margie said, crafting has saved my life and the life of my hubby many times. So I can be an EMT too. That's awesome, Margie. Angela says, I do teach at the craft store and used to tell the people to sign up. You are not a student, you're a creator. What I make is an example, a starting point and inspiration. You make what you feel is right for you. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. What I'm hearing is that y'all know in your heart that you are an artist, a true creator. It's just the inner critic that has stifled most of you, not all of you, most of you in saying that. And there's a few of you that aren't afraid to say, I'm an artist. And I will also say that I have learned to say that because I felt the same as most of you, what you're saying. And I have learned to say that I'm an artist. And it feels good. It feels good to say that. And other people love it.
Yes, it does.
Because they want to ask about it then. People are always intrigued by art because they don't think that they have the skill to do it. DM says that they didn't start on marble. They sketched it first, then made a clay sculpture, then made a smaller marble piece, then went into the big one. What? They didn't just have it in their mind and go straight to this 12-foot piece of marble and make it perfectly. Right? When they sketched it on
I'm
paper,
sure that they had the brainstorm, but in order to get there, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And when they sketched it, they probably erased and moved their lines a bit and corrected their sketch until they had it just how they wanted. And it never comes out exactly. I can't say never.
Yeah.
Rarely. The very first time. Maybe we just don't want to label ourselves. Julie. That's awesome, Julie. Maybe you don't want to label yourself.
Well, I don't like to label myself, but if I'm going to be labeled, but I will call myself an artist that is fun and crazy and laughs a lot, because I rather dub myself than have somebody call me something, because I have been called a lot of things. And I don't mind.
That's funny.
And you might even have deserved some of them.
Never.
Yes, yes, you're right. No, you're right. I'm not perfect. I am not perfect.
You're perfectly imperfect. And that is my goal, to create perfectly imperfectly. I want to share with you a quote that Sylvia shared with me from Quinn McDonald. She said, "I don't make art to be perfect or to produce what someone else defines as art. I choose to make meaning, not perfection. Through art, we figure out who we are and where we are going. When you create because you love the act of creation, the fun of problem solving, and seeing the project move ahead, you are an artist creating personal, powerful, raw art. Create imperfectly." I love that.
There you go.
No one is perfect. How boring would that be?
Me too.
Yeah, and how boring would it be if we were all the same? If all of our idea of great art is the same? So no matter what it is that you make or that you do, somebody's going to love it. Somebody else, it's not going to be their style. And that's okay. You just do it to please yourself. That's the reason we don't like calling ourselves artists. We know that we are not perfect. Therefore, we just can't be an artist. Our perception is flawed. That's exactly it, Margie. We have this perception that an artist is perfect because all we see is the statue of David, right? We don't see the sketch and the resketch and the resketch and the clay and the small marble. We don't see the entire process. And I have no idea how many years it took him to get to that. We only see the final result and think he's perfect. Yeah, we need to correct our perception. It is very flawed. We are artists. Maybe start with artist in training, if that feels better. I'm an artist in training. And then after a couple times, you'll think that's just really silly. I'm an artist. David is not perfect, right?
Well, since I'm fast approaching my golden years in the other way, and I'm a dizzy broad because of my vertigo, I think I'm going to need those training wheels pretty soon. Not because I'm new or anything, because I keep falling over.
You know what? That's okay. Maybe that's another way to splash paint on your art. I don't know.
Yes.
Does anybody ever feel art block? You want to talk about art block for a few minutes?
Days when you just don't have any incentive to do anything?
Well, okay. What is art block?
Art block to me is a day that I don't want to sit down and glue, and it makes me
wonder, like, how can this happen?
Okay.
It confuses me.
It's a feeling of you don't want to. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that it might be more of art fatigue, or not even art fatigue, just fatigue. It
Okay.
could be mental or physical fatigue, and your body just doesn't want to do something you love to do because it doesn't have the strength or energy to draw from.
I sure find it confusing.
I've had creative block for a long time. I sit there and want to do something but can't. Okay. That art block, creative block, same thing. It's a mental state of wanting to create art, but feeling unable to start creating it. It might be starting some creative projects and then not being able to proceed with them. You're stopped in the middle. A feeling of getting nowhere. There's always the desire. I want to create art. I want to be creative. I want to do something, but I can't seem to get started, or I can't seem to, pick it up and make any progress. Just this creative block. Can you feel where that is a little bit different than not wanting to do it, Glynis?
Yeah. Yes, I can definitely feel the difference.
Okay. So I would, I always like to try to analyze, when I'm feeling things like that, where's it coming from? Next time you feel that way, stop and do a body scan. How am I feeling mentally? How am I feeling physically? Am I fatigued? Am I worn out? Am I emotionally drained? Physically drained? Have I been sick? And I just don't have the reserves to draw from. The older we get, the less reserves we have. DM, creative block is too many things going in my head and can't seem to decide which way to go. That's another one. Want to create, have so many possibilities and so many ideas that you just can't sit down and get started with one of them. For me, I want to create, but I procrastinate and watch YouTube videos. Okay. And Anne-Marie, if you were outside of you, looking at you, and you can see right into your brain and everything, but you're an outside you looking at you, being completely honest, why, as you look at you, why do you see you? If you want to create, why do you see that you go to watch YouTube or do something else? That's hard to explain. Yeah, step out like you're a third party and look in your brain and say, why is my brain doing that? Because our brain sometimes does things that we don't recognize what it's doing or why. Sometimes I just want to go in there and toss everything I've started and start over. I felt that before. It's more too tired because
What stopped you from doing that?
Oh, what stopped you from doing that, Margie?
You have to
Angela?
clean it up.
Right? Have to get Marianne out here to clean it up. I had lupus, and now after my mini stroke, I start feeling empty too. The nurse.
Oh.
So asked the nurse, can I have a pen and a paper, and started doodling, and the block went away. Okay. We're going to talk about how to get rid of that block. Real pain is a big blocker. Absolutely. Real physical pain, headache, backache, lupus, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, all those things that cause physical pain. Does her brain think she's going to get the idea from watching something on YouTube? Okay. So Anne-Marie, I suspect you're probably thinking about this, and I hope you don't feel put on the spot in a negative way. Putting you on the spot in a we love you way. Mine might be perfection. Okay. So I really want to create, but I'm afraid that I won't make it perfectly the first time, and that'll be disappointing. So I'll go watch some more YouTube videos because maybe I'll find something that will help me make it perfectly, right? Is that getting close, Anne-Marie? And really, your brain probably knows that I'm not going to find anything else that's going to help me because it can't. I still have to do it. But our brain can trick ourselves into spending time doing this. Yes, me too, Margie says. Me 3, Anne-Marie, me 3. I am with you. And that's one of the things that HPP has helped me a lot with is perfectly imperfect. It's perfectly imperfect. I came from a place where I had to do it right the first time. If I ruined this piece of paper, there wasn't 10 cents to buy another piece of paper. I had to make it right the first time. I couldn't make any mistakes. I felt my value was on what I contributed or what I did or how well I did. I totally understand what you're saying. Totally understand what you're saying. And there's a lot of self-talk. And you might think self-talk is a bunch of hooey, but I will tell you that those people that are at the top of their game in whatever industry, whatever job, whatever creative venture, whatever it is, if you went and talked to them, I will never say always or never. So I'll say 99.9% of them will tell you that they use self-talk. They use self-talk because everybody has the inner critic that came from our experiences however long ago. And we are really, really good at building up our friends and telling them what a bunch of malarkey that is. And look, here's why. And you are perfect just the way you are. And I love the way you do this. Yet we don't do it for ourselves. Self-talk is so, so important. Every time you find one of those negative things rising up, it's really important that you say 2 positive things to yourself to counteract it. Yay, Angela! Yay, she's our newest membership club member. Say it out loud too, Julie. Say it in the mirror. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, that's why. It's because you're facing yourself and it feels strange to face yourself because now you have to really acknowledge it, right? So say it in the mirror. Say it out loud. I talk to myself all the time. I know Sylvia does too. So if we're, laugh and craft, I'm usually talking out loud.
I most certainly do.
But yeah, honestly, let's talk about some ways
I do.
The thing of perfection is a really, really good and one of the most important points about art block, because you might be comparing yourself to somebody that you consider a better artist than you. Enough that you might even give it up for a while. You might ruminate on things. You might feel helpless or hopeless, or I'm never going to get good at this. Well, you can't if you don't just do it. If you don't just practice and just try. But those things right there can wrap you up with a huge amount of stress and anxiety, and they really wreak havoc on your self-esteem as an artist. We can't have that. So I don't have to ask you, is art block real or is a creative block real? Because you know it is, because you've just expressed when and how you have had it. And also, when we have a creative block or an art block, that does not mean that you're not a real artist. Honestly, it actually means the opposite. You can't have art block or creative block if you're not an artist, if you're not a creative. So if you've ever experienced that, then just tell yourself, well, there's my validation that I am an artist.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I never thought of it that way.
Non-artists don't get art block. But it is something that you can move past. And there are techniques. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Well, Sylvia has a little bit of delay.
It's such a simple message.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sorry. again, it goes back to you cannot love somebody else fully until you love yourself. And when you get hit and you get down, there's no one that's going to fix you but yourself. You might get some outside help. You might get a rah-rah cheerleader, which would be your mom or your siblings. But the only one that's going to be with you is you.
Right.
So I don't wait for anybody to come along and motivate me. And I do get stuck sometimes. And then I'll just sit there and say, okay, let's get unstuck. I'll go outside. I'll pick up sticks. I'll kick the dog. I'll walk the dog. I'll, whatever it is that I need to do in order to get that mindset going.
Right.
That's why I don't have cats, because I would never do that to a cat. I'd never do that to a kitty. But dogs,
Sure.
they're loyal. They'll take it. You get back to your paper, you make a mark.
There you
Well,
go.
it's true. You can't do that to a kitty. Anyway,
Yeah.
you make a mark. Make a circle. What's your favorite shape? And you just draw it. Write your name 3,000 times. You used to do it in school when you wanted to be Mrs. So-and-so. So you do the same thing.
Sorry.
And the affirmations are a very real thing. Affirmations are a very real thing. And anybody that's had therapy, they will tell you, the good ones will tell you, it's not what's wrong with you, it's what has happened to you. And so when something has happened to you to knock you off kilter or to interrupt your life, then no one else is going to come and crank it up for you but you. So you need to get those tools to self-talk and stop with the criticism and stop. And I understand how hard it is with lupus. Believe me, Dawn Marie also has lupus, and I hope she forgives me for sharing that. But it's something that you have to battle all the time, and it affects you. It does, and it physically stifles you, and it takes a lot more of you to get you started when you are not feeling top, when you're not feeling 100%.
Yep.
But again, it's going to be you to. Okay, here's the other thing that I look at. There's some days that I don't want to clean my kitchen. So I just put everything in the dishwasher and I run it once, twice, 3 times, maybe not the full circle, just the rinse circle, but at least I got something done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just applaud yourself for getting out of bed,
There you
for
go.
changing your clothes, for getting in the shower, for not getting in the shower, for do something for yourself that's going to help you get up and get out of the funk, because no one's going to come and light the fire for you unless you're paying them to do it. And then they're going to drag it out because they want more money by the hour. So do it yourself. You're cheaper. And affirmations work. They absolutely do. I'm asking for permission to share some prompts and affirmations on our post on HPP. Because who knows who might need it or might consider it and might adopt it for their own.
I love positive thoughts. I love
many prompts and so many affirmations. Absolutely. It's been a long journey for me. 72 years, 73 years. Yeah. It's I've had a lot of stuff happen to me that has not happened to a lot of you guys. And maybe some of you guys have had some of the things that have happened to me. So, we have these life-altering events. How do we handle them? Did somebody help us? Did somebody give us the tools to fight them, to correct them, to rise above them, to surpass them?
Maybe not.
If there's no one there to do that for you, you need to do your own. And if you have to run the dishwasher more than once.
Very true.
And that's it. I'll stop.
Thank you, Sylvia. They're saying thank you. That is so true. Yeah. Calling yourself an artist shows you have high self-esteem. People who can't say that about themselves have some sort of self-esteem issue. And if they put you down for calling yourself an artist, okay, if somebody puts you down for calling yourself an artist, then they are the ones that have the problem. They are the ones that feel the lack and don't want you to feel good about yourself because they don't feel good about themselves. And yes, you can all have confidence enough to call yourself an artist. Now, by saying I'm an artist, I did not say I'm the best artist in the world. I didn't even say what kind of artist. I didn't say I'm better than so-and-so. All these things, all those things are just in your head. The term artist is what you are doing right now.
Julie just made me laugh. Julie just made me laugh. She said she
really just
I get frustrated with myself because I can't move around as fast as I used to. Yeah. You know what I did to the kids last summer? They had a trampoline. They had a trampoline in the back. And I told the kids, stand back. Just say, yes, grandma, because my daughter was watching from the window. And I made like I was going to get on the trampoline. And talk about getting hysterical. All the young adults came out, no, get away from me. I was actually going to get on the trampoline because I know one jump or two, the ankles, the knees, the hips, something was going to go. But I also know that those days are over. We don't tug on Superman's cape. We don't spit in the wind. We don't, do the rest of the stuff. Enjoy your age. You're still alive. Some of your friends are not. So enjoy your days and honor them too while you're at it.
My acrylic
made me laugh, Julie. Thank you.
Bled all over the place. So that not getting a piece of fodder out of that side, only this side. Speaking of which, let me just say thank you for your service to any who are military veterans or married to a veteran, as it is Veterans Day. I'm not moving very fast with fodder, Ricky. I'm getting more involved in the conversation, but I'm trying. I'm making a little bit
I've been doing fodder. I do fodder.
But Sylvia's doing fodder, and so is collaging.
I've got a completed sheet here that I've collaged. That's all done in neutrals, and each individual piece was hand stained around the edges, and then the neutrals, and then I stamped on top.
Awesome. Angela, it takes 5 times to a person with lupus to do the regular 5 times. Yeah, 5 times the time to do something as yeah. And you know what, Angela, I understand that because I also have lupus. Was diagnosed when I was 16.
I didn't know that, Marianne.
Yeah. You know what, I choose not to define myself as that lady with lupus. It is something that I have to deal with. It is something I have to live with. And there are some days are good and some days are not so good. Some days are better than others, and it's not going away. So I've just decided how I'm going to live with it. I'm not going to let it take away my positive frame of mind.
Joy.
I'm not going to let it take away my happiness or my joy or all the things that I want to do or try in life. I just can't do them as fast anymore. I can't do as much anymore. And on top of the lupus, there's always other things too. You guys have a whole list. I'm sure, just like me. I don't consider myself a breast cancer survivor. I consider myself a breast cancer thriver. To survive to me feels like I just barely survived it. But I have thrived and not letting it destroy or take away my happy mindset either. Oh, look at those flowers Sylvia's got. Wow. Leaves, not flowers.
So I got this. This is a leaf that I did, and it was floating around my random fodder. I outlined it on a piece of paper. Then on the back, I used a whole bunch of napkins and some other stuff, cut it out. Then I put it onto this piece of paper because I'm going to put it on a tag. But I don't know whether to cut it out or to leave it just like that and then do some stuff. But that's my fodder. And then I was going to do another one with some ribbon and a stencil. And I got another stamp. Because I got to do some maple leaves for someone. I'm not going to say her name, but she lives in Canada.
She's
Lord knows she doesn't have any maple leaves over there.
Patience, Glynis. Quit checking.
You're checking the mail.
It hasn't been sent yet. Quit checking.
Oh, Canada. my heart, my heart, my own.
Right?
Love you, Glennis. Love you.
Uh,
So I've been doing fodder. Okay, you're next, Marianne. What have you been doing?
guys, it's Glennis's camera. It's going up and down, auto trying to focus, and she knows it. We just can't,
We can't seem to fix it. We're still working. It's a work in
right
progress.
now. So yeah, so it's okay.
Here's my next one.
Let me run down some. Oh, that one's pretty. Love the colors.
I wanted to do all in stripes, kind of.
Okay. I want to just not spend any real time on these, but because a lot of them have already been mentioned in where we're talking about why we don't call ourselves artists, but reasons that we get art block or creative block. And so when you feel that block and you can't seem to get started on the project you want to start on or move forward on it, maybe you can think of some of these things and think, is one of these causing it right now? Because if you know what's causing it, then you can do something about it. So here's some things. One is lack of self-confidence or self-doubt. Again, that can come from the things that we were told, that inner critic. We just don't have the confidence or, doubt our own ability. Fear of criticism. All of us who are going perfectionism, there it is, fear of criticism. And the perfectionism is afraid of our own criticism of ourselves, which is probably worse than anybody else. So fear of criticism, you can tell yourself, I make this, I don't have to show anyone. And then when you get through it and you're like, oh, it's pretty good, then you can post it and you've tricked your brain. We often have to trick our brain because our brain will play tricks on us all the time. So trick your brain and say, I don't have to show anybody this. I'm just going to do it because I want to do it. And when you get done, then you can post it if you like it. And if you don't have to. It's okay. Imposter syndrome. That kind of goes along with the not feeling authorized or qualified to call yourself an artist. If you don't feel like you have the ability to do this, or it might flare up even more when you're watching lots of YouTube videos, because then you start comparing yourself to other artists and thinking, oh, I'd love to collage, but mine don't look like Marguerite Miller's. Well, it takes practice. She didn't start like that. So imposter syndrome, and right along with that is comparing yourself. Comparing yourself to other artists is totally natural. The problem is that thinking that way is toxic. It really is. Comparison is the thief of joy. Think about that.
Ooh.
Comparison is the thief of joy. Don't let yourself steal your own joy by comparing yourself, and that can cause a very intense artistic block. How are you supposed to move forward if you feel so much less skilled than someone else? Right? It's very debilitating and disempowering. Lack of skills, lack of art skills, or having lower skills than some others. And just thinking about it all the time can really debilitate you. So remind yourself that the way artists get skills is by practicing, by doing it, by just practicing over and over again. I told Sylvia I'd like to learn calligraphy as nicely as she does calligraphy. And she said, take 15 minutes a day and just pick a letter. And for 15 minutes, practice that letter every day, over and over and over again. Okay. But she's right. That's how she learned. She is absolutely right. And art skills can grow and they can be learned. And honestly, they're often overrated. Just go with your desire, with what you like, with your passion, with your ideas, things that are unique, with your drive, inspiration, things like that. let me also say this right here, because somebody brought up copying somebody else's before. If you would like to hone the skill that there is an artist that you watch and you would like to hone your skill to be like theirs or to be able to do what they do, then copy them. And let me explain what I mean by copy them. I'm not talking about copyright and taking their things and calling it your own. And if you were to trace, if you were to put their thing down and trace it, that's not copying them. Copying their process, their procedure, the steps that they do, their layout. If you watch, I keep using Marguerite Miller because y'all know her, and she is a collage artist, and we all respect and love the things she does. And collage is a big part of all the things that we do. If you watch her videos, it's all in where she places things, the things she combines together and how she places them. Copy her. Say she starts out with this and she puts something like this of this size, or picks a color, whatever it is. And then she picks a complementary color or the same color but a different shade or something lighter, or what is it that she's doing? Copy her steps, copy her process. That's why she's teaching it on YouTube, so that others can learn to do it that way if that's a way they want to. And so you can learn to trust your own intuition as well. So copy those that you admire. Don't plagiarize and take their work and trace it, but copy their process, their procedure, their layouts, those things that you find attractive to you. Just catching up on comments here real quick. Yes, too many supplies can always be overwhelming. Too much to choose from. Too much to choose. And yeah, never worry about your spelling, your grammar, because we always understand what each other's trying to say. Working with the wrong art medium. Unknowingly working with the wrong art medium. So, and Sylvia is really great at knowing that if you're going to work on this substrate, then you probably should put down some clear gesso so that what you want to do on top of it, you can do. Where if you're on this one and you put down clear gesso, what you want to do is not going to stick to it. Or, you know, and so if you're working with the wrong supplies and trying to accomplish a certain thing, you're not going to be able to get the desired result. And it's not even your fault. It's not that you're not doing it right. It's that you've got the wrong medium or media. So that is something that you can then ask someone who has learned, whether through a course or through trial and error or just through experience. So let me think here. I did make some notes. Where are my notes? Oh, your environment. Your environment can definitely cause art block. If you're so crowded in your workspace that you don't have more than 6 inches to work on, and you know, for a while walking into my studio, it would take me 2 hours to find anything I wanted, and by then I was so frustrated and tired and out of time. I didn't have time to make what I wanted to, and so you know, just end up in a big old block. Not fun. If it's too dark in your room and you can't see, if your room affects you in a negative way, you know, a dark and depressing place is not going to be a very creative place. And speaking of depression, if you are experiencing loneliness or depression, that absolutely can cause an art block or a creative block. Distractions. There are a lot of distractions that can cause a creative block. Everyday distractions, family, children, extended family, stresses that are brought on by them, even the weather, you know, different things that happen. Sometimes those distractions are rooted in a deeper issue, especially if they involve family. So And sometimes they hit things like the lack of confidence and have things deep inside of us, and they can cause an art block, and we don't even know what to attribute it to. And as we've already mentioned, exhaustion or illness, you know, for those who struggle with any autoimmune disease, you know, it's there. It's a part of our life. So we have days that are better than others. We have days that we might struggle to be creative, and we've got a couple thoughts on that. But don't beat yourself up if you're just plain exhausted because you've had a lot of responsibilities lately, or you've chosen to do some other fun things, or illness is making you not able to think clearly right now. It's okay. And you can also watch yourself and see if there are better times of the day than others. If you wait until at night when you're tired, that might be the hardest time at all to create. Where in years past, you loved having that evening time by yourself. And now it might just be a hard time. Things change as our lives evolve, and we just need to be aware of it, look at it, and be able to change with it. So let's talk about how to stop art block. How to stop art block permanently, even. 1, be gentle with yourself. Give yourself some grace. Yes, grief can be right along with the illness and depression. Absolutely. Yeah, well, if you're making minis, Margie, 6 inches should be just fine. Yes, Anne-Marie, you have limited space. If you're in an apartment, a flat, a room, and you have a very limited space, that can, and you get too many supplies, it can feel claustrophobic, and it can really affect your creativity. Yeah, okay, so grant yourself some grace. Be gentle. Be kind to yourself. Whatever you're feeling or thinking, always stop and say it again to yourself as if you were one of your friends speaking to you. Too many needy animals, right? Yeah, by the time you finish taking care of them all, you're exhausted. Think of yourself as a friend. If you were talking to Sylvia and Sylvia said what you just said, then how would you respond to her? Would you jump on her and pounce right on all the negative things? Or would you say, you really should grant yourself some grace because look what you've been doing the last 3 days. You know, you did a deep house cleaning. You've got to be tired from that. You just entertained people who were staying with you for a week. You know, whatever it is, give yourself the grace that you would grant a friend. Take care of yourself. And going along with what we said before, affirm yourself and claim your artist identity. It's okay to tell yourself, I am an artist. And as you're sitting there creating something, I am an artist. What does my artist self want to create today? What aspect of art will I delve into today? And if you feel like an artist in any way, you are one. It doesn't matter how much art you make. It doesn't matter how often you make it. It doesn't matter how good it is in anybody's eyes. You don't need to label yourself professional artist or hobby artist. It doesn't matter. An artist. Artist, artist, artist. You are an artist. That thing alone is really powerful. That's really powerful self-talk. Just telling yourself, I'm an artist. That can end that whole imposter syndrome. And it can really help you get past the perfectionism, because if you had in your mind that artist means perfect, and you realize now that artist means, if I'm an artist, that means I have the right to fail and do it over and over and over again, because that's what true artists do in order to hone the skill. So by calling myself an artist, I'm granting myself more leeway to do that. Tell someone you have a block. They can help you through it. Yeah, That's a good one, DM. Have a sense of humor about art ego. Have a sense of humor about your art in general. Sometimes I do something and it's not quite what I was thinking, and I look at it and it just makes me laugh. Because, wow, you know, might end up in the trash. It usually just goes to sit somewhere. Before, I don't usually just throw things in the trash right away. I will put them off to the side and let them sit somewhere for a while, a week, 2, even a month, and go back and look at it again, because you look at it from different eyes. And now you might see immediately something that you can do to it or with it that will give it completely different function. But don't worry about other people's opinions. Don't have an art ego that cares what other people think. They need to be worried about their own art. You need to think about your own art and how it affects you. Do it for yourself. And as we talked about, you want to be in an environment that is comfortable. It doesn't matter how small or large it is, if it's comfortable to you.
I think you have to care about what other people think. I'm going to blow my own horn here a minute and say I sold one of my abstracts on Saturday. And she
Cool.
loved it. She just loved it. And I felt good. She something I produced. It really made me, it was important to me that
Right on, Glennis.
And she said, I just love this.
Yeah. You don't make them with the thought in your mind of, well, other people like this. Well, is this going to be good enough for somebody else? Or you just make them because it makes you happy and you like doing it. And then in the end, if somebody else likes it and wants to buy it, that's a huge bonus, and that really feels good. And it helps.
It's still feeling good.
Yeah, it helps to confirm you've been telling yourself an artist. Wow, if artist means that I sold a piece of my work, well, I really am. Yeah.
Especially something like abstract art, which is so you either get it or you don't.
Right, Margie? If I'm an artist, my craft room just got an upgrade. It is a studio. That's why I call my studio a studio.
Yeah, and DM does that too.
I actually thought many, many years ago about that and thought, I don't want it where I came from, people that had a craft room thought of it differently than I wanted to think about it and did different things. And I wanted, and to me, an art studio is a place that if I walked into this magnificent art studio, it would be like magic, because there would be every possibility open to me in that studio, right? That's how my mind pictures a studio. Every possibility of art is open there. Somewhere I'm going to find some watercolor. I might find some crayons. I might find there's going to be some paint. There's going to be paper. There's going to be glue. There's going to be markers. Everything. There's every possibility there in a studio. It is all encompassing. And that's why I like calling it a studio, because it feels all encompassing to whatever it is. They're all forms of art. Doug does some woodworking and he's made some really beautiful things. And I said, wow, you're a very talented artist. And he said, I'm not an artist. I'm not an artist. I'm just wood burning, or I'm just whatever. And he said, people who make beautiful things out of wood, that is a craft. They are a craftsman. A craftsman is an artist. They're creating something that not everybody can create. Maybe they could learn to create. But yeah, it's we need to change our thought process there. Margie, you are very posh. You are very, very posh. You now have a studio. Studio.
To me, the word studio, when I hear studio, I think of a place with lots of light and lots of room.
Okay, because the possibilities would be for anything, right?
Yep, but that the two things I think of first is, wouldn't it be nice to have all the room you wanted?
Yep, and I don't have all the room I wanted.
Oh, it's only.
But it doesn't matter. Does that mean that I can't create because I don't have all the room that I would love to have?
No.
Oh no, I'd still
No.
create.
Yep. As long as I can make a space on this desk that I can create, this desk is in my studio, and whether the light is a natural light or you put a light up or bring a light over, whatever it is, if you've got light and you've got supplies and a place to create, then you've got your studio, your bedroom studio.
Yeah, it's my bedroom studio.
You might be the only one I know that has a bedroom studio. I love it. It's very posh.
Yeah, but I
Very
have to clean up
Congratulations.
my studio up every night. It's the pain because I sleep in the bed.
Yeah, true.
So that's really a pain.
Anytime
Well,
you
one
find
thing
your
about creative,
go ahead. Mhm.
one thing about creatives is the cleaning aspect. That we're really good about creating, but when it comes time to clean the tools, clean the brushes, clean the paint water, go dump this, go dump that. Yeah. But it's the
Yep.
same thing with the kitchen. You're the one that creates the pies and the cakes, and you still have to clean up afterward.
Yeah.
And there's never anybody there to help you.
I need an
But the
understudy.
good thing is they always wait for you. The dish is always good.
Right?
Yes, I need a
Yep.
wife.
Yeah, I've said that for years.
I
Yeah.
want a wife.
I need in the studio. I need an
Someone to
understudy.
bring me
that
my
can
coffee.
just clean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
No.
I would say adopt a
Well, I
positive.
finished my fodder.
And you actually embossed it, didn't you? I mean, with embossing glaze. Didn't you put some glaze on it?
Just
Or was that glitter?
watercolored over it, and
Wow.
yeah, because I put some salt on the watercolor.
Oh, that was salt. Wow.
Just some salt on the watercolor.
I saw you doing it. Didn't know it was
Yeah.
salt. I thought it was like
So you can't see it on the
embossing
camera, but in person you can see the little
marks.
yeah, you can see in person you can see all of the little marks that it made. Yes.
That's
And then
cool.
later on today I'm going to work on this
Ooh,
because it's going to go in that little journal that I'm working on now.
that's awesome.
This one. I think I posted it in the group. This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
dangly that you're going to give everybody with the brush. I just love
Yes.
that.
I do too.
So this is just a file folder. It's nothing extravagant, just ordinary. This is a rub on. This is a leftover card. These are leftover leaves. It's just clear it out. Get used.
Very
And this is
pretty.
the stuff that you gave us in the subscription box. So yeah. I don't
Very
need another
pretty.
journal. I don't need to make another, but I am making another journal because
Yes,
it's
you
fun.
do. We always do, right?
So
Yeah.
Bye, Anne-Marie.
I'm going to have to get off because
We are
my happy veteran over there, he wants to go get his free donut from Krispy Kreme. He wants to get his free chicken wings from Wing Therapy. I don't know what the name of the place is. He wants to go get all of his free stuff today.
Awesome.
I get to
As
wait in
well
the car
he
with
should.
the dogs.
Please tell him thank you for his service. Okay.
Oh, certainly. Sure.
Because we
Definitely.
appreciate that.
Thank you for letting me hang out with you guys today. Glennis,
Thank you for being here.
Glennis, it's going to be there pretty soon. Glennis. Love you.
Love
And
you
congratulations.
guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
still
take
high.
care.
Yeah, go get all the freebies for sure. Want a
Okie
donut?
dokie.
I
See you
know.
guys later.
No, Margie. Bye.
Donut, yeah.
A couple other things that you can do to get rid of the
Wanna
creative
donate?
block. One is using micro movements, and I'm going to help Sylvia out here. One is using micro movements, and micro movements. I'm going to switch that a little bit. Might give it better. There we go. Micro movements. What are micro movements? Well, micro means small. If you sit down and try to make a piece of art and you've just got a block and you just can't seem to get it together and do it, then we need to trick our brain. Our brain tricks us all the time. Our brain tricks us every time it says you're not good enough. You are the crazy one. You are the this one. You are the that one. All that is your brain messing with you. So you can trick your brain right back and create new neural pathways in your brain. So micro movements are an easy way to do it. And this is actually a technique that was invented by someone, the author known as Sark, S-A-R-K. She has lots of books. You could check out her books, but there's one called Make Your Creative Dreams Real. Her books are great. But basically, micro movements are small actions. They take between like 5 seconds to 5 minutes. Okay. So let's say that I want to do some collaging. Real basic. I want to do some collaging, and I sit down and I'm like, I just don't even know where to start. I'm stuck. My creative block. It's just not letting me move forward. How can I trick my brain into getting to where I'm collaging without actually sitting down and doing it? Break it down into micro movements. Walk in here, decide, or first of all, decide, I don't even have to be in here. Decide, what am I going to collage on? Am I going to collage in, this is my collage journal, and all I do is collage on these pages. Am I going to collage in my collage journal? Do I want to collage on a piece of paper so that I can make a bigger one? Do I want to collage on some index cards? So let me just decide, what do I want to collage on? Once I decide what I want to collage on, then I'm going to walk into the studio and I'm going to get that, either the index cards or get the art journal off the shelf or get the piece of paper I'm going to collage on. I'm going to set it down on my desk like this and I'm going to walk out. That probably took all of, it depends on where you had to, what you had to go through to get it. But maybe it took 10 seconds. Maybe it took a minute if you had to dig for it. That's all I did, though, is pull out the substrate that I'm going to collage on, set it on my desk, and walk out. So my brain can't get hung up on you're trying to collage and you don't know what to do and all those things. Your brain's going, wait a minute. Wait, what? Nope. All I'm doing is getting my substrate. That's a micro movement. Okay. And then as I'm doing whatever else I'm doing, let me start to think about, what do I want to collage? Do I want to use book pages and music page? Do I want to use colored paper, my scraps? Do I want to just put anything down randomly, or do I want it to be a color combination? And I'll decide that. And then I can walk in here and I can grab my scraps. I've got a whole pile of scraps right here. You can kind of sort of see them. I just reached into my big scrap bag and grabbed a couple handfuls. And so these are totally random. And when I do these, I might start pulling out things that just even have the same kind of color palette. Lots of pinks there. Need some other colors beside that. So I could either pull out these, or I could just pull out the scraps and set the scraps there and walk out. There's another micro movement. I'm pretty much setting up the place to collage without my brain even getting hung up, or my brain telling me, wait a minute, you have a creative block. You can't do this. So if I just pulled out all the scraps and piled them right here, and then I go out, and then I'm thinking about, yeah, I'm going to use those scraps. And I think I do want to pick some kind of color combination, and pinks and greens and whatever's here. So the next time I come in, I could even set my timer, and I'm going to take 1 minute. And in that 1 minute, I'm just going to pull out of this scrap pile things that are in these kind of colors. And there might be a couple of other random ones that complement them. What's on the other side of that? Oh, that's cool. But I'm just going to take 1 minute and pull out some pieces that are all in pinks and purples and greens. And look at that. I don't even have to think about what I'm going to make. Doesn't matter. Right now, it's easy to pull out things that are pink, purple, and green. And how can I get a block about that? Because there's no decision to be made. It's just, does it have pink, purple, or green in it? And I'll pull them out. So, wow, there's a lot of scraps with pink, purple, and green. So, and then I start to get excited. I'm finding some really pretty scraps that I actually really, really like. Pink, purple, and green. And maybe by the time I finish this, then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready to start putting these down because these are pretty. And now I'm motivated and excited to put them down. Or maybe not yet. Maybe not. If I still need to work with my brain and trick it into getting there, then I've pulled out all these things that are pink, purples, and greens. Ooh, look at these. That's pretty. That's kind of blue, purple, and green. I've got all of those. I can, now I've got that pile, pinks, purples, and greens. And I'm just going to leave that pile there, and I'm going to walk out the door. And your brain's going, wait, go back and collage. You've got all those pretty papers pulled out. Nope. All I did was a micro movement that's getting me closer to what I'm doing. And your brain then starts to yearn to do that. And you've just walked away from it, where a few minutes before you had a creative block, right? So that is just really a way to outsmart the whole situation, to outthink your brain, trick your brain into doing what you want it to, because believe it or not, your brain is the strongest organ in your body, and it controls us in many, many ways. We can outsmart it. We can trick it into changing and doing what we want. We just have to be aware of it. So that's one of my favorites. Just, you know, not letting my brain control me when I want it to be different. So DM mentioned something too. She said, talk to somebody else, talk to another artist, tell them you're having a creative block. Connecting with other artists is great. And so going into Happy Paper People Facebook group, look through the posts there, comment on other people's posts, and comment not just that's really awesome, but why? Why is it awesome? What is it you like about it? Pull out the things. I love the way you've combined those colors. I would never have thought of using those colors together. I love the formula. I love the whole structure of where you place things. That just really appeals to me. You know, this is very creative, and I love the way you use buttons. You know, find some things that are of particular interest, and that will also get your mind thinking about specific things that you could do. Groups also help to get rid of the loneliness when we're feeling especially lonely or discouraged or depressed. They can help pull our brains away from dwelling on that and allow our brain to open up to being creative again. Also, changing your environment. If you're in a creative block and every time you go into your studio, you just can't seem to move forward to get anything done, try something different. Take your little watercolor palette and your watercolor book and go outside. Go outside, sit out there and sketch or watercolor, and you know, take your crocheting, your knitting, go sit on the porch or the patio or in the back swing. You know, just change your environment a little bit. If you've got anybody near you that is creative or an artist, invite somebody over, or you accept their invitation, go over, just say, would you like to get together and have a creative day? You know, it'd be fun just to chat. That changes your environment completely, and you'll find that your mind thinks differently to that. And it's not always easy to move to a different location. You know, in a small apartment or something, you might not have a whole lot of options, but you can always jump in the car and go to a park nearby, or, you know, something like that. We talked about copying other artists and how to copy them, what's appropriate copying and what's not. That's another way, instead of you having to think of what you want to do and you're in a creative block, pick out something you like and then try to copy that artist. Try to just do exactly what they did with your own paper, with your own colors, with their, and that will help get your brain back into thinking creatively and open to that. Gather inspiration. Sylvia mentioned that sometimes she goes outside and gathers sticks or waters the plants, the flowers, but you can gather inspiration inside, outside, online, books, people in your neighborhood, nature, anywhere. Look around and look at something differently than you normally do. Do you have wallpaper in your house? Look closely at the wallpaper and see, what is the pattern? Could I just even paint that pattern with watercolors or with watercolor pencils or any of those things? Hi, Diane. Good to see you. Look at things a little bit differently and find something that you didn't see before, whether it's the pattern, the texture, whatever. Okay. Last two things that I'm thinking of here. One is to reward yourself. Well, actually, there's three things. Reward yourself. If you have done something, you made a piece of art and you feel satisfied, you feel happy about it, reward yourself. It's okay. It's okay. That is not wrong. That's not egotistical. It is okay to reward yourself with a relaxing break or a snack, or to go do something else fun that you wanted to do, read a book, just even words saying, wow, great job. I'm proud of you for completing this. That's pretty awesome. Something else that sometimes can help me get out of a creative block is to make art for someone else. Sometimes I can think about a person and think about making something for them, and it's a little easier, like even just making a simple birthday card for someone, or a card for a neighbor down the street, just wanted to say hi, thinking of you, or for somebody across the world to send the card to. Something very, very simple that you can make for someone else that makes your brain think in a different way. And the last tip that I would give you is a brain dump. A lot of times when we're hung up on stuff like this, it's because our brains are hung up with so many things in there. We just need to start dumping them. And if you do a brain dump, you could do it verbally. You could do it writing down. And this is take a journal, take a piece of paper, anything, and just start dumping everything that's on your mind. And it can be writing, it can be drawing, it can be painting, it can be with any medium that you want. Just put it down. There's no continuity. It doesn't have to be fluid. They don't have to go with each other. Just anything that your mind is thinking of, get it out of your mind and onto paper. Very often that brain dump will help free up your mind. I like to do it writing, because my mind will hang on to things thinking, I don't want to forget about this, or I really need to think about this and figure this out. And if I do it in writing, then I can tell my brain, okay, it's written down, so you're not going to forget it. So go ahead and let it go for a while. Don't think about it for a while, because it's written down. I can come back and pick it up later. That's one of the advantages to writing things down. Otherwise, our brain doesn't want to let go of things because it's afraid of forgetting. Brain has auto brain dump, usually at the wrong time. That's awesome, Diane. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in the middle of the night when you're laying there that your brain is like, okay, I got all these things to dump, and you don't want to get up and get a pencil and paper. Let's see here. Julie, was there something else you said that works for you? That's an idea. Better finish it. It'll never get done, right? Your brain is thinking you are a total tease. Right, DM? That's with assume you're talking about the micro movements. And yes, absolutely. And you're tricking your brain into wanting to do something that it's been sitting here telling you you don't want to do it. So if you're feeling a creative block, or anytime that you are, think back through some of those reasons that we talked about as to why you might be. And if there's a valid reason, give yourself some grace. give yourself some grace anyway. We're not perfect, nor do we need to be. So also then think through some of the ways of getting rid of the art. I just had brain freeze, the art block, the creative block. Think through some of those ways, and what one of those things might I try right now? What might work right now? Sometimes you just can't focus on art because of the flow of life. Things happen in life that take your attention, whether it's your thoughts, your emotions, your time, your attention, away from art. And that's okay. That doesn't necessarily have to be a creative block or an art block. That's just life or family or whatever needing your attention at the moment. And you'll get back to it. So Sylvia says, congratulations again, Glynis. Oh, on selling your piece of art. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I do too.
So does that go a long way to validating that you are indeed an artist?
When I work on my abstract art, I think of myself as an artist. So I've already got there at that point.
What about your journals that are so creative? What about the doily and lace journals that people just say wow about? Would never even have thought of doing something like that with doilies.
Well, then I kind of think, what then? Like people say they like my grunge and they like this and they like that, but they don't buy it. So it makes me wonder, are they just saying that to be polite, or do they really, really like it?
Well, I could really like something yet not have the funds to buy it at this time. I could also, as I mentioned before, go in somewhere and I could see something and say, I really like that. When what I mean is I really like what I see that the artist has done. I really like the approach. I can really appreciate all the work that went into this, but it's not the right decor for my home. So I'm not going to buy it. But boy, do I appreciate, what they've done here.
Okay.
Any number of reasons. And a lot of it might be financially at any given time. But you have sold a lot of your art, whether journals.
Yeah, I do sell my journals regularly.
Books, animals, and now your abstract art. You've sold all of those things.
Yeah.
So if selling your art is one of the criteria for defining you as an artist, then you were a long time ago in all those areas, right?
Kind of. I still think of my journals as I've sold something I've crafted.
I get that. To start thinking of artist as a creator. And that's something I created. I'm a creator, therefore I am an artist.
Yeah, I have no problem with the word creator.
Yeah. And maybe it's because growing up, a lot of the artists we saw were things that were on canvas or something that done with a brush in hand. I think you brought it up at the very beginning. Yeah. Things that were done with a brush in hand feels like that's a real artist, and that's not what I do. So am I a real artist?
Yeah.
Yet if you were to walk into a shop of somebody who carved beautiful woodwork, you would say, what a talented artist, what a craftsman he is.
No problem.
Right? Yeah. It's the same thing. He takes wood and sees the beauty in it and makes something really cool. You take paper, trash, whatever it is, see the beauty in it, make something really cool. Let's see. Yay for Krispy Kreme. Yes, thank you. Please, a thumbs up. We appreciate that. And if you do have a minute, as soon as we end, if you can pop back in and leave a comment. The comments that we leave during the live don't stay on as comments. And the things that help us with the algorithm with YouTube is the comments that are posted after we end. So as soon as I hit end, you can, like, it'll end on there. If you go out, come right back in. We appreciate that. Diane is right. She says, if you do art, you are an artist. You know what?
Yeah.
Mic drop. There you go, Diane. That's the bottom line. And that's how we'll end it today. If you do art, you are an artist. Right? If you do art, you are an artist. As soon as we hang up here, I am going to upload that short video for the membership club. So give me like 5 minutes for it to have time to upload. And then don't forget to check in membership on YouTube and check out that video because it's for something on Wednesday. Don't want you to miss that out. And Margie, I will go look behind the scenes and see if I can tell what you were talking about earlier, and see if there's any way to assign it specifically. So thanks for being here. Thanks for your
I want to
input.
point out, I've added circles to this to see.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
don't want to do anything too much because there's going to be focal points on it later. And this is the last one I've been working on. So I've got 3 done. The crowd goes silent.